If you are still holding out hope for a happy romantic reunion next week, I am here to tell you to prepare for a brutal, soul-crushing heartbreak. The door has officially slammed shut on any romantic future for Jason and Britt, and there is absolutely no turning back now. For months, we have all been sitting on the edge of our seats, waiting for that magical moment when these two would finally lock eyes again. We expected tears of joy, a passionate embrace, and a promise that they would never be torn apart again. Instead, the writers are handing us a jaw-dropping twist that will leave you completely speechless. The absolute devastation that is about to unfold will wreak devastation on everything we thought we knew about this couple. You might want to sit down for this, because the heartbreak coming our way is going to change the entire landscape of Port Charles forever. Let us take a moment to look at the absolute chaotic mess our favorite characters are currently drowning in. Britt has literally been through hell and back over the past few weeks. She was on the run, terrified out of her mind, believing that her illness was rapidly progressing and stealing her future. She survived a deadly trap set by Ross, endured a horrifying stint in a cold, unforgiving jail cell, and finally learned the miraculous truth that her fatal diagnosis was nothing but a cruel lie. During those dark, terrifying nights behind bars, the only thing that kept Britt from completely losing her sanity was the thought of Jason coming back to her. She held on to his memory like a lifeline, believing that their love was the ultimate reward at the end of this grueling nightmare. She has a brand new lease on life, and in her mind, the only thing missing from her perfect fresh start is Jason. Meanwhile, Jason has been enduring his own living nightmare. Held captive by the WSB, isolated from everyone he loves in a sterile, windowless room, he has had far too much time to think in the dark. He endured relentless interrogations and the constant looming threat of death. During that agonizing isolation, he did not dream of romance. He was consumed by the terrifying thought that he might never see Danny graduate, never see him fall in love, and never be there to guide his son into adulthood. He is carrying the heavy burden of covering up a massive crime for Rocco, while desperately trying to rebuild his fractured relationship with Danny. Both of them are standing at major crossroads, but their paths are about to violently collide. But that's not even the craziest part. When the highly anticipated reunion finally happens, it is going to be a scene that will go down in soap opera history for all the wrong reasons. Picture this, guys. Britt sees Jason from across the room. Her eyes fill with tears of absolute relief. The man she has been mourning, the man she has been waiting for, is finally standing right in front of her. She runs to him, throwing her arms around his neck, expecting him to hold her tight and tell her that the nightmare is finally over. But instead of wrapping his arms around her, Jason stands completely frozen. He does not lean into her touch. He does not whisper sweet nothings into her ear. Gently, but with a cold, firm resolve, he places his hands on her shoulders and physically pushes her away. The look of pure, unadulterated confusion and shock on the face of Britt will absolutely shatter your heart. She is going to stand there, completely stunned, wondering if she is losing her mind. She will desperately search his eyes for a hint of the love they once shared, only to find a blank, emotionless wall staring back at her. But that's not even the craziest part. If you ask me, this harsh rejection is not born out of sudden malice, but out of a deep psychological shift that occurred while Jason was locked away. You see, being held captive changes a man. Jason did not spend his time reminiscing about lost loves or romantic escapades. He spent his days agonizing over the sheer amount of time he has lost with Danny. He realized that every single time he lets himself get entangled in a romance, especially with Britt, it only leads to extreme danger, a loss of freedom, and more missed milestones with his son. Jason is not necessarily blaming Britt for the tragedies that have befallen them. But in his logical, calculating mind, he has connected the dots. Their relationship is a magnet for chaos. Every time their lives intertwine, somebody ends up bleeding, kidnapped, or on the run. Jason has made a conscious, deliberate choice to break this toxic cycle once and for all. He wants to draw a permanent, impenetrable boundary between them so they can both actually survive and move on without constantly looking over their shoulders. But that's not even the craziest part. When Britt inevitably demands to know why he is acting so incredibly cold, Jason is going to deliver a bombshell that will echo through the halls of the hospital. He is not going to yell. He is not going to act out in anger. With that signature stoic calmness that we all know so well, Jason will look her dead in the eye and tell her that he simply does not love her anymore. Hearing those words fall from his lips will be the ultimate wreck devastation on the soul of Britt. This is not a temporary fight or a misunderstanding that can be fixed with a grand romantic gesture. This is a cold, calculated decision made after months of deep reflection. Jason believes that by completely shattering her heart right now, he is actually saving her life in the long run. He refuses to drag her back into the violent, unpredictable mess that is his existence. He wants her to walk away and never look back. But that's not even the craziest part. The fallout from this rejection is going to trigger a massive domino effect that will shake the very foundation of the local underworld. Jason is not just cutting ties with Britt, he is cutting ties with his entire past. We are about to witness Jason do the unthinkable. He is going to officially walk away from Sunny and the mob. For decades, Jason has been the loyal enforcer, the right-hand man who would take a bullet without a second thought. We have watched him bleed for the mob, sacrifice his own happiness for the syndicate, and put Sunny above his own flesh and blood time and time again. To see him willingly walk away from that life is a monumental shift that alters 30 years of established television history. But his time in captivity has fundamentally rewired his priorities. He looks at Sunny, he looks at the dangerous presence of Rick lurking in the inner circle, and he realizes that this life will eventually cost him Danny. Jason is choosing to be a normal, present father. He is hanging up his leather jacket and stepping out of the shadows. Sunny is going to be absolutely blindsided by this betrayal, but Jason will not waver. He is determined to start a brand new chapter, completely detached from the violence and bloodshed of his past. Now, ladies, brace yourselves, because here is the ultimate jaw-dropping twist that nobody saw coming. Are you ready for this bombshell? The real reason Jason is pushing Britt away and abandoning the mob is not just about protecting Danny. It is about a long-buried secret that goes all the way back to the infamous tunnel collapse years ago. During the time when the entire town believed Jason was dead, buried under tons of rubble, he was actually living a completely different, secret life far away from the drama we saw on screen. According to the most explosive theories floating around, Jason met a new woman during his time away. A normal, everyday civilian who has absolutely no ties to the mob, no criminal record, and no understanding of the violent underworld he used to rule. He fell deeply in love, got married in secret, and actually fathered another child. Yes, you heard me correctly. Jason has a secret wife and a secret son that nobody in town knows absolutely anything about. He kept them hidden in the shadows to protect them from his dangerous enemies and the chaotic pull of Sunny. But after surviving the WSB nightmare, Jason has decided that he is done living a double life. He is bringing his secret family out of the shadows and straight into the light of day. This is the real reason his heart is no longer with Britt. He has already built a completely different life with a completely different woman, and he is finally ready to merge his two worlds into one. Imagine the sheer, unadulterated chaos this is going to cause when this secret family finally arrives in town. Danny is going to have his entire reality turned upside down. Just as he gets his beloved father back, he is going to be introduced to a stepmother he has never met and a half-brother he never knew existed. The psychological toll this will take on Danny is going to be immense. Will he accept this new family, or will he rebel and push Jason away all over again? And think about Sunny. Sunny, who demands absolute loyalty and transparency, is going to lose his mind when he realizes his most trusted confidant hid an entire family from him for years. Sunny will view this as the ultimate betrayal, completely severing the deep, unbreakable bond of brotherhood they have shared for decades. The power dynamic in the underworld will completely shift as Sunny scrambles to find a replacement for his legendary enforcer, possibly leaning even heavier on the untrustworthy Rick, which is a recipe for absolute disaster. And when Carly finds out, she is going to go on a absolute rampage, furious that Jason kept such a monumental secret from her. And then there's Britt. Poor, devastated Britt. She is going to have to stand by and watch the man she loves play happy family with a woman she has never even heard of. It is the ultimate insult to her lingering feelings. She will be forced to accept that the man she waited for has truly moved on and started a completely new chapter that she is permanently locked out of. The emotional devastation will be absolutely unparalleled. As Jason stands there in the hospital corridor, watching Britt walk away with tears streaming down her face, he pulls out his phone. He stares at a photograph of his secret wife and child, taking a deep breath as he prepares to make the call that will change everything. He dials the number, the phone rings twice, and a female voice answers on the other end. Jason simply says, "It is time. Bring him home." But just as he hangs up the phone, a familiar shadow steps out from behind the corner, having heard every single word of that highly classified conversation. Who was standing in the dark listening to Jason confess his ultimate long-buried secret? Will they use this shocking information to destroy his new life before it even begins? You will have to tune in next time to find out.